The warning. The vast galactic hegemony spread across thousands of star systems. For centuries, they expanded without challenge, bringing planet after planet under their control. Their ships were massive, their technology advanced, and their hunger for new worlds never satisfied. Admiral Vincent Cole stood on the bridge of his command vessel, staring at the blue-green planet on the main screen. Earth, a world that had somehow escaped the hegemony's notice until now. Remarkable life signs, Admiral, said his science officer. This planet shows signs of advanced civilization, but has yet to establish colonies beyond their solar system. Admiral Cole nodded, stroking his gray beard. Perfect for integration. Prepare the diplomatic fleet. I want our most impressive ships for first contact. The standard approach should work. Awe them with our might, then offer protection in exchange for resources and loyalty. Across the solar system, in an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Director Olivia Lawson received the alert. Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Network had detected the approaching fleet. "How many ships?" she asked, her voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. 17, Director, answered the young officer at the monitoring station. Based on their formation and energy signatures, it appears to be a diplomatic mission, not an invasion force. Olivia's eyes narrowed. They always start with diplomacy. Activate Protocol Omega and inform the Defense Council. I want full analysis of their communications. For 3 days, Earth's most powerful computers decoded and analyzed the transmissions between the approaching fleet and their home systems. Linguists and cryptographers worked tirelessly to understand the alien language. What they discovered confirmed Olivia's suspicions. Dr. Alan Porter, head of genolinguistics, presented his findings to the Defense Council. The hegemony follows a consistent pattern. They identify developing worlds, establish diplomatic relations, then gradually strip them of resources and autonomy. They call it protection and integration. But dozens of civilizations have effectively become slave states. The council chamber fell silent. General Frank Donovan, a burly man with a perpetual frown, spoke first. "What are our options?" "We've been preparing for this possibility," Olivia replied. "Our defensive capabilities exceed anything they've encountered before. They don't know that. They think we're just beginning to explore our own solar system." President Caroline Ward stood up. Her decision would change humanity's future forever. Send the message. Unanimous agreement. The 12 members of the Defense Council nodded one by one. 50 million miles from Earth, Admiral Cole was preparing his speech for humanity's leaders when his communications officer interrupted him. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's unusual." "Put it through," Cole ordered, straightening his ornate uniform. Instead of the expected greeting or questions, just 3 words appeared on screen in the hegemony's own language. "Intentionally forbidden. Depart." Cole stared at the message in disbelief. This must be a mistake. No developing world has ever rejected first contact. "Send our standard greeting package." The communications officer tried repeatedly, but shook his head. "They're blocking our transmissions, sir. And they've activated some kind of energy shield around their entire planet." "Impossible." Cole slammed his fist on the console. "Their technology shouldn't be capable of that. Send a probe closer." The small probe approached Earth's orbit, then suddenly went dark. Minutes later, it reappeared, drifting harmlessly but completely powered down. Cole's face flushed with anger. "Contact the Emperor immediately. Earth isn't the primitive world we thought. They somehow know about us, and they're rejecting us outright. No world has ever dared to ban the hegemony." As the diplomatic fleet retreated to a safe distance, Olivia Lawson watched from her command center. "And so it begins," she murmured. Earth had thrown down an unprecedented challenge to the mightiest power in the galaxy, and the hegemony would not take this insult lightly. The real test was yet to come. The ultimatum. Emperor Xark Toll's holographic image towered over the council chamber on the hegemony command ship. His scaled skin glistened with ceremonial oils, and his 6 eyes narrowed in rage. This primitive world dares to refuse us. His voice echoed through the chamber. No planet defies the hegemony. Prepare an ultimatum. Earth will join us or face immediate consequences. Admiral Cole bowed his head. My Emperor, there is something unusual about this world. They seem to know our intentions before we've revealed them. I care not for their tricks. They are one planet against our 1,000 worlds. The Emperor's image flickered as he leaned forward. You have 3 cycles to bring them to submission. On Earth, the Defense Council watched the hegemony communications with grim satisfaction. Their long-range interceptors had captured every word. They're reacting exactly as predicted, said Olivia, studying the tactical display. The Emperor is sending reinforcements, but their nearest battle fleet is 2 weeks away. President Ward nodded. Then we proceed with the demonstration. Captain Winters, you're authorized to execute Operation Firewall. Captain Eric Winters commanded Earth's lead defense vessel, a ship that looked small and unimpressive compared to the hegemony cruisers. His crew was handpicked, the best Earth had to offer. Targeting systems ready, reported his weapons officer. The scout ship has separated from their main fleet. Eric smiled slightly. Perfect. Let's show them what they're dealing with. His ship silently approached the hegemony scout vessel. When they were within range, Eric gave the order. Activate the pulse. A wave of energy, invisible to conventional sensors, flowed from the Earth ship. It washed over the scout vessel, and instantly, all its systems shut down. The hegemony ship drifted helplessly in space, its crew unharmed but powerless. Back at Earth's lunar base, Dr. Samantha Reeves studied the biological data collected from the hegemony's transmissions. What she found disturbed her deeply. They've systematically altered the biology of species on conquered worlds, she reported to the Council. Genetic modifications that ensure loyalty, reduced aggression, even limited reproduction. They're not just conquering worlds, they're reshaping life itself to serve them. The Council members exchanged troubled glances. This confirmed their decision was right. 3 days later, Admiral Cole received new orders. The Emperor had sent General Krath, the hegemony's most decorated military commander, with a battle fleet of 50 warships. This world has insulted the Emperor himself, Krath said during their strategy meeting. His cybernetic eye scanned a holographic image of Earth. We will deploy shock troops to their major cities simultaneously. Their resistance will crumble within days. Admiral Cole wasn't convinced. General, they disabled one of our ships without firing a single conventional weapon. Perhaps we should study their capabilities more before attacking. Cowardice, Admiral. Krath's mechanical hand crushed a metal cup. One primitive world cannot stand against the might of our fleet. We attack in 3 days. On Earth, preparations accelerated. Defense platforms hidden in asteroid belts were activated. Specialized units took position in strategic locations around the globe. They're coming with everything they have, Olivia informed the President. General Krath has a reputation for brutality. He's never failed to subjugate a world. President Ward stood at the window of her office, looking up at the night sky. How many ships are ready? Commander Harrison. Grace Harrison, commanding Earth's orbital defense, answered promptly. 27 vessels fully operational, Madam President, plus the orbital platforms and lunar batteries. It won't be enough if this were a conventional battle, said General Donovan. But we're not fighting conventionally. No, agreed the President. We're fighting to show the galaxy that Earth will never be conquered. She turned to face the Council. Activate all defensive systems. If the hegemony wants a demonstration of why Earth is forbidden territory, let's give them one they'll never forget. As the hegemony battle fleet approached, Earth waited, ready to shock the galaxy. First contact battle. General Krath's battle fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system with impressive force. 50 warships moved in perfect formation, their weapons charged and ready. From his command bridge, Krath watched the small blue planet with disdain. This is the world that defies us. He sneered, his cybernetic eye glowing red. Begin the approach. Full battle formation. The hegemony fleet advanced past Neptune, then Uranus. Their sensors detected no movement from Earth's forces. Some of Kraft's officers began to wonder if the humans had fled or gone into hiding. Commander Grace Harrison watched from Earth's hidden orbital command center. Her face remained calm as she tracked the enemy's approach. "They've passed the outer marker," reported her sensor officer. "All ships in position." Grace nodded. "Let them come a bit closer. We want them committed." She opened a channel to her squadron leaders. "Remember your training. They outnumber us, but we have the home advantage." When the hegemony fleet crossed Jupiter's orbit, Grace gave the order. "All units, execute defense pattern Alpha. Lieutenant Morgan, you have permission to engage." Lieutenant Daniel Morgan led a squadron of 12 small, sleek vessels that had been hiding in Jupiter's shadow. Unlike the massive hegemony warships, Earth's vessels were built for speed and maneuverability. "Squadron, activate phase shift drives," Daniel ordered. The revolutionary technology engaged, causing the Earth ships to shimmer slightly as they partially shifted out of normal spacetime. To hegemony sensors, they became nearly invisible, appearing only as brief flickers. General Kraft was in the middle of planning the Earth invasion when alarms blared across his command ship. "Unknown vessels approaching," shouted his sensor officer. They're everywhere and nowhere." "Impossible," Kraft growled. "No civilization has phase technology. Fire all weapons." The hegemony ships released a barrage of energy weapons, but the beams passed harmlessly through the phase-shifted Earth vessels. Daniel's squadron weaved between the enemy ships, their specialized disruptors targeting propulsion and weapon systems. "Focus on their flagship," Daniel told his pilots. "Pattern Omega-3." 3 Earth ships surrounded Kraft's command vessel. They synchronized their phase shift fields and created a bubble of altered spacetime around the hegemony ship. Systems failed throughout the massive warship as physical laws temporarily shifted. Across the solar system, the battle unfolded with similar results. Earth's smaller fleet used their phase technology to devastating effect. Commander Harrison directed the defense with precision, targeting support ships and communication relays. "They're splitting their formation," Grace observed. "Exactly as we planned. Deploy the autonomous intercept drones." Hundreds of small, unmanned craft launched from Mars orbit, their artificial intelligence targeting the scattered hegemony vessels. These drones didn't attack directly, but instead created localized gravity distortions that pulled enemy ships off course. On his failing flagship, General Kraft raged as system after system went dark. "This is impossible. They're just humans." Admiral Cole, who had warned against the attack, spoke quietly. "They weren't as primitive as we thought. We underestimated them." "Never." Kraft slammed his mechanical fist into a console. "Order all ships to converge on the planet. We'll destroy their major cities from orbit." But the hegemony fleet was in disarray. 5 ships had lost all power. 12 more were spinning out of control, caught in the gravity drone's fields. The others couldn't coordinate without working communication systems. "General," said Admiral Cole, "we need to retreat and regroup." Kraft's face contorted with rage, but even he could see the battle was lost. "All ships withdraw beyond the solar system. This isn't over." As the damaged hegemony fleet limped away, cheers erupted throughout Earth's defense network. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Galactic hegemony had been defeated in battle. Daniel Morgan guided his squadron back to base, his face serious despite their victory. "They'll be back," he said to his pilots. "And next time, they'll bring everything they have." Commander Harrison nodded as she received the reports. "That's what we're counting on." Diplomatic counteroffensive. News of Earth's victory spread throughout the hegemony like wildfire. The Emperor was furious. For the first time in living memory, a hegemony fleet had retreated in defeat. This could not stand. "Begin the information campaign immediately," Emperor Aktark Toll ordered his propaganda minister. "Portray these humans as violent savages who attacked our peaceful diplomatic mission. We must turn galactic opinion against them before their influence spreads. Soon, hegemony broadcasts filled the communication networks of every controlled world. They showed doctored images of Earth ships attacking helpless hegemony vessels. The message was clear. Humans were dangerous barbarians who threatened galactic peace. On Earth, the Defense Council monitored these transmissions with concern. "They're trying to isolate us," Olivia said during an emergency meeting. "If other worlds believe their lies, we'll have no allies when they return in force." President Ward turned to a tall, distinguished man at the end of the table. "Ambassador Foster, this is why we selected you for our first diplomatic mission. Can your team be ready to launch within the week?" Ryan Foster nodded confidently. "My team is prepared, Madam President. The stealth transport has been equipped with Dr. Clark's translation matrix. We can bypass their communication blocks." Dr. Michelle Clark was Earth's leading linguist and communication specialist. Her revolutionary translation technology could decipher and replicate any language within minutes of exposure. "The translator is ready," she confirmed. "More importantly, it can penetrate the hegemony's communication protocols without detection. We can speak directly to the oppressed worlds without the Empire knowing." 2 days later, Ambassador Foster's ship slipped past the hegemony blockade that had formed at the edge of the solar system. Using advanced stealth technology, they traveled to Proxima Centauri, where a minor hegemony colony struggled under imperial rule. The local governor was shocked when Foster appeared in his office, having bypassed all security. "How did you get here?" he demanded. "All ships from Earth are to be seized on sight." "We came to show you the truth," Foster replied calmly. He activated a holographic projector that displayed unaltered footage of the recent battle, revealing the hegemony's aggression and Earth's defensive actions. "The Emperor has lied to you," Foster continued. "Just as he's lied about the protection he offers your world while stripping it of resources." The governor hesitated, then whispered, "There are others who feel as you do. A network of worlds that resist in secret. The Alliance of Free Worlds." This was exactly what Earth had hoped to find. Over the next 2 weeks, Foster's team made contact with the Alliance. Their leader, a rebel named Shera from the mineral-rich world of Kaldar, was initially suspicious. "Why should we trust humans?" she challenged. "You might be hegemony agents trying to expose us." Foster showed her the phase shift technology that Earth was willing to share. "We ask nothing in return except alliance against the hegemony. Each world should determine its own fate." News of Earth's technology and philosophy spread through the Alliance network. Worlds that had suffered under hegemony rule for generations saw hope for the first time. Meanwhile, on the hegemony capital world, the Council of Lords received troubling reports. "Production from the outer systems has decreased by 17%, announced the economic minister. "Several governors report technical difficulties, but our analysts suspect deliberate slowdowns." "Earth's influence," hissed Emperor Sark Toll. "They are inciting rebellion." He turned to his military high command. "This primitive world has become more than an irritation. It is now an existential threat to our control. We must crush them completely." The military commander bowed. "The battle fleet will require 6 months to rebuild, Your Excellence. But we have other options in the meantime." "Deploy them all," ordered the Emperor. "I want Earth isolated, infiltrated, and destabilized before our fleet arrives. No world defies the hegemony and survives." Back on Earth, Olivia Lawson received Foster's encrypted message with satisfaction. "The diplomatic counteroffensive is working," she told the president. "But we've provoked the hornet's nest. They'll try everything to weaken us before the main attack comes." The infiltration. The hegemony's most elite infiltration unit prepared for their mission in a secure facility on Proxima Centauri IV. 20 agents from various species had undergone extensive genetic modification to appear human. For months, they had studied Earth's languages, customs, and behavior patterns. Commander Zex, the unit leader, addressed his team one final time. "Our mission is critical to the Empire's survival. Earth has shown unexpected resistance, but they won't suspect enemies living among them. Once inside their defense network, we will disable their shields from within. The agents departed in small, undetectable pods designed to mimic space debris. They would crash in remote areas of Earth, where recovery teams would simply find injured humans with convenient cases of amnesia. On Earth, Director Kyle Bennett of the Counterintelligence Division studied the latest security reports. His team had been working overtime since the battle with the Hegemony fleet. Another meteor shower predicted tonight, his assistant noted. 7th one this month. Kyle nodded grimly. They're not even trying to be subtle anymore. Alert all recovery teams. Full bioscan protocols on any debris or survivors. The first Hegemony infiltrator landed in a forest in northern Canada. He emerged from his pod, his appearance perfectly human. He had memorized his cover story and carried flawless identification for Peter Wilson, a backpacker who had gotten lost. Everything went according to plan until the recovery team arrived. "Sir, are you injured?" asked the paramedic, approaching with a standard medical scanner. The infiltrator smiled reassuringly. "Just a few bruises. I got lost, and then something fell from the sky near me." The paramedic nodded sympathetically while her scanner quietly analyzed his biological signature. Seconds later, armed officers surrounded the area. "You're not human," the paramedic said calmly, stepping back. The infiltrator's smile vanished. How had they detected him so quickly? Similar scenes played out across the globe as Earth's defense network identified and captured infiltrators with surprising ease. Of the 20 Hegemony agents, 18 were captured within hours of landing. The remaining 2 realized they were compromised and activated their emergency beacons, choosing capture by their own forces over Earth's interrogation. In a secure facility beneath Washington, D.C., Agent Sophia Blackwell studied the captured infiltrators. As Earth's top xenobiologist and intelligence operative, she had been assigned to understand the enemy's capabilities. "Their genetic modification is impressive," she told Kyle during their briefing. But they made a critical mistake. They assumed our scanners were looking for external differences. "But we're scanning for neural patterns," Kyle finished, "no matter how human they look." "Their brains still function like their original species," Sophia confirmed. "Our eye defense network can spot the difference instantly." The captured infiltrators provided valuable intelligence under questioning. Earth learned about Hegemony fleet movements, political structures, and most importantly, biological weaknesses of various Hegemony species. Meanwhile, the Hegemony was growing desperate. Their spy network had gone silent, and reports from border worlds were increasingly alarming. More planets were subtly resisting imperial control each day. Emperor Exarch Toll summoned his High Council. "How is one primitive world causing so much disruption? Our infiltrators have failed. Our propaganda is being countered. Even our secure communications are being intercepted." His military commander shifted uncomfortably. "Your Excellence, we believe Earth had been monitoring our transmissions long before we discovered them. They may have been studying us for decades while we thought them unaware of galactic society." "Impossible," the Emperor raged. "The evidence suggests otherwise," insisted the intelligence director. "Their technology, especially their AI systems, exceeds our own in several areas. They were ready for us." On Earth, the Defense Council reviewed the intelligence gathered from the captured infiltrators. President Ward looked at the assembled leaders gravely. "The Hegemony is preparing for their final assault. They're gathering their entire central fleet, over 300 warships. They'll be ready to attack within 2 months." General Donovan nodded. "Then it's time for the next phase. We've tested their military and infiltration capabilities. Now we trigger the rebellion." The Great Rebellion. The Hegemony Central Command erupted in chaos as emergency signals flooded in from across the galaxy. On 27 worlds simultaneously, imperial governors were being overthrown. Colonial defense forces were switching sides. Supply depots were being seized. "Impossible," Emperor Exarch Toll roared, his 6 eyes bulging with fury. How could this happen without warning? His intelligence director cowered before the throne. The rebellions appear coordinated, Your Excellence. They're using Earth communication protocols and weapons technology we've never seen before. The Korvax system, rich in rare minerals vital to the hegemony fleet, was among the first to declare independence. The local governor had been peacefully removed and replaced by a council of native Korvaxians. Their announcement was broadcast on all hegemony channels. For too long, the Empire has stripped our world while claiming to protect us. Today, we reclaim our freedom. Earth has shown us that resistance is possible. We stand with them against tyranny. Similar messages echoed across the galaxy. Planets that had suffered under imperial rule for generations were rising up, emboldened by Earth's example and supported by its technology. Admiral Linda Hayes commanded Earth's Third Fleet as it approached the Korvax system. Her mission was to ensure the newly independent world could defend itself against imperial retaliation. Receiving transmission from Korvax Defense Command, her communications officer reported, "They're under attack by a hegemony battle group." Linda nodded calmly. "Engage phase shift drives. Position us between the hegemony ships and the planet. Defensive formation only." Her fleet of 15 vessels shifted into the ghostly state that made them nearly impossible to target. They positioned themselves around the 5 hegemony warships that were bombarding Korvax's capital city. "Attention hegemony vessels," Linda broadcast. "This is Admiral Hayes of Earth Defense Force. Korvax is now under our protection. Cease fire immediately or face consequences." The hegemony commander laughed. "Earth cannot protect worlds across the galaxy. Your interference ends today." Linda sighed. "I tried diplomacy. All ships. Execute containment protocol." Her fleet created a phase field around the hegemony vessels, temporarily altering the physical laws within that space. The enemy ship's energy weapons discharged harmlessly, their engines sputtered and died, and their communications went silent. Similar scenes played out across the galaxy as Earth's technology helped rebellious worlds defend themselves. But the most shocking development came from within the hegemony itself. Commander Drex of the hegemony's 7th Fleet addressed his officers on the bridge of his flagship. "For too long we have been instruments of oppression. Today we choose a different path." He opened a channel to all ships in his fleet. "All vessels, this is your commander. I hereby declare our independence from the corrupt empire. We will no longer attack innocent worlds or subjugate free peoples." One by one, his captains acknowledged the order. The entire 7th Fleet, 23 warships strong, had just defected. Back on the hegemony throne world, the Emperor faced a new crisis as noble houses began withdrawing their support. House Varek has recalled their ships from the Central Fleet, reported the military commander. Houses Telex and Morton have declared neutrality. "We've lost nearly 30% of our military strength in 2 days." Emperor Toll slumped on his throne. "How has this happened? One world should not have been able to unravel an empire of 1,000 systems." His oldest advisor stepped forward cautiously. "Perhaps, Excellence, it was because our empire was built on fear rather than loyalty. Earth showed others that resistance was possible and offered an alternative based on mutual respect." "Prepare my personal battle fleet," the Emperor commanded, ignoring the advice. "We will crush Earth ourselves, and a rebellion will collapse without its center." On Earth, President Ward received reports of the spreading rebellion with cautious optimism. "The hegemony is fracturing faster than we anticipated," Olivia noted. "Nearly 200 worlds have declared independence or neutrality." "And the Emperor?" asked the President. "Taking personal command of their remaining loyal forces. 300 ships heading directly for Earth. They'll arrive in 5 days." President Ward nodded grimly. "Then we prepare for the final battle. Alert all defense units. It's time to show the galaxy why Earth remains forbidden territory to tyrants." A new galactic order. Emperor Exarch Toll's massive fleet filled the view screens in Earth's Defense Command Center. 300 warships had arrived at the edge of the solar system. the largest armada ever assembled by the hegemony. This is their final desperate move, President Ward told the assembled military leaders. They've committed everything they have left. The Emperor's message was broadcast across all channels. People of Earth, your rebellion ends today. Surrender now, and some of your population may be spared. Resist, and your world will be reduced to ash. President Ward looked at the grim faces around her and nodded once. Send our response. The message was simple. Earth remains forbidden territory. Approach at your peril. The hegemony fleet moved forward in attack formation. This time, they were prepared for Earth's phase shift technology. Their ships had been modified with quantum field generators designed to disrupt the phase effect. They've adapted, noted Commander Grace Harrison. As we expected. General Donovan smiled slightly. Good thing we didn't plan to use the same trick twice. As the enemy fleet passed Mars orbit, President Ward gave the order. Activate the gravity web. Hidden generators throughout the asteroid belt came online simultaneously. They created an interlocking network of gravity distortions that caught the hegemony fleet like flies in a spider's web. Ships lurched to a halt, or spun out of control as localized gravity fields 10 times Earth normal grabbed them from multiple directions. 50% of enemy fleet immobilized, reported the tactical officer. Their vanguard continues to advance. The Emperor's personal flagship led the remaining vessels toward Earth. They fired planet-killer missiles designed to penetrate any defense. Intercept drones launched. Grace announced calmly. Thousands of small, autonomous craft rose from Earth's surface and lunar bases. They swarmed the incoming missiles, sacrificing themselves to detonate the weapons safely in space. Captain Jason Miller led Earth's counterattack. His squadron of advanced vessels engaged the hegemony flagship directly. Focus fire on their command center, he ordered his pilots. Their Emperor is on board. His ships fired precision weapons that bypassed the flagship's shields by briefly shifting into an alternate dimension. The hegemony vessel shuddered as critical systems failed. On his crippled flagship, Emperor Exarch Toll watched in disbelief as Earth's defenders systematically dismantled his fleet. How is this possible? We are the hegemony. We have ruled the galaxy for 1,000 years. Admiral Cole, who had warned against this conflict from the beginning, spoke quietly. Perhaps that was too long, Your Excellence. Perhaps it's time for something new. The battle ended not with Earth's destruction, but with the Emperor's surrender. His flagship, disabled but intact, was boarded by Earth forces led by Captain Miller. Emperor Exarch Toll. Miller addressed the alien ruler formally. By order of Earth's Defense Council, you are relieved of command. The hegemony as you knew it is finished. 6 months later, representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered on neutral territory, a space station orbiting Jupiter. Earth had called for a galactic congress to establish a new order. President Ward addressed the assembled delegates. Earth will maintain its forbidden status to all external powers. We will not rule, control, or dominate. Instead, we offer ourselves as neutral arbitrators in disputes between worlds. Ambassador Ryan Foster presented the founding document of the new Galactic Confederation. Each world controls its own destiny. All members agree to non-interference in the internal affairs of others. Technology and knowledge will be shared equally. One by one, former hegemony worlds signed the agreement. Even some former imperial lords recognized that this new arrangement offered stability and peace. Captain Jason Miller, now leading the Confederation's peacekeeping forces, oversaw the stabilization of former hegemony territories. His ships no longer needed weapons. Their presence alone was enough to ensure compliance with the new galactic laws. On Earth, Dr. Samantha Reeves inaugurated the Galactic Academy, where representatives from all worlds could learn and exchange knowledge. Understanding leads to respect, she told the first class of alien students. Respect leads to peace. In the reproposed hegemony throne room, now a museum, a simple plaque was installed beneath Earth's original message to the stars. Visitors from across the galaxy came to read it. Entry forbidden. not to protect ourselves from the galaxy, but to protect the galaxy from those who would conquer and control. Earth stands as guardian of freedom, not its master.